It's one of the darkest chapters in Canada's military history. For years, allegations of rape made by women serving their country were largely ignored. Some were ridiculed, further victimized, and ostracized. The federal government this week is offering a settlement for victims of sexual assault and harassment. Tonight on City News, one veteran tells us why the money she's being offered by the feds makes her feel even more worthless. A warning, some may find the details of our story tonight disturbing.
I was so proud of myself. I was on fire. I could do anything.
Dawn Mcilmoile had all the enthusiasm you would expect of a 19-year-old who just finished basic training. She was stationed near Victoria, BC, with hopes that one day the Navy would help her achieve her dream of entering medical school. Not even a month later, her life changed forever. Following a party at a Legion, Dawn admits she was drunk and was helped back to her base by her boyfriend, who encouraged her to stay in his room so he could take care of her.
I woke up with his roommate on top of me, and my knees were on my shoulders, like pushed, and it was just, I was in so much pain and I was naked. And I had never really been naked in front of anyone at that point. And then the next morning I was bleeding. I couldn't even walk, so I had to go to the hospital. And they said that the only way they could do the rape kit was if they called the MPs too.
MP stands for military police. They were called and they conducted an investigation. Police allegedly told her she should use what happened to her as, quote, a learning experience. Mcilmoile says what happened next traumatizes her to this day.
Sexual assault charges were never laid, though you ended up being charged.
Yes, I was, with a section 129, because I was on the male floor after 11 o'clock, and that was a rule.
You were charged because you were on the men's floor.
The men who allegedly raped the then 19-year-old also faced discipline for having a girl in their room after hours. But that's it. Though for Mcilmoile, the victimization was just beginning.
I got told that if I wanted to learn to be in the military, I should learn to be a slut and keep my mouth shut when men do things to me.
After 23 months, Dawn Mcilmoile left the service and entered a psychiatric treatment facility. In 1998, she, along with multiple other female veterans, shared their story in this issue of Maclean's. Mcilmoile appeared on the cover. At first, she felt emboldened by appearing in Maclean's and sharing her story. Though when nothing came of it, she went into hiding, battling an eating disorder and suicidal thoughts.
It was just after I was in Maclean's, and I was numb, and I wanted to feel the pain that I was actually experiencing, because I was on so many psych drugs that I was just numb.
No one should feel unsafe in their place of work, in their community, and that's why we have moved forward on changing approaches, working with survivors of sexual assault and abuse.
This week, the federal government committed $900 million to settle sexual misconduct lawsuits against the armed forces. Victims who were previously denied benefits could be eligible for up to $155,000. Those who've received monthly payments through Veterans Affairs will only be compensated between $5,000 and $5,000. Maclean does receive a check every month from Veterans Affairs. She calls it her rape money. She feels the settlement being offered by the feds is insulting, considering what she and others have had to endure for decades.
I want an apology. I want someone to say, I'm sorry you got charged, and then expunge it or something and say, you no longer have a section 129 for being raped.
The settlement isn't a done deal as of yet. This September, a federal court will hold a hearing to decide if the proposed deal is reasonable.